What is up? It is Dan. Welcome back to another episode of Guitar Talk. Hit the like button, subscribe button, all those YouTube things that help us grow. Roll that intro. What is up, everyone? Welcome back. So today I am looking at the own brand from GAK Electric. They call it the GAK Electric Guitar. I guess you could call it the GAK S-type guitar. If you were not worried about copyright and that kind of stuff, I guess you could call it the GAK Strat. All kinds of names, but that is what we're looking at today. So a little bit behind why we ended up with this guitar. So Fender have obviously recently released their standard series guitars made in Indonesia, and cheaper end or budget end guitars are a bit of a hot topic at the moment. So I thought, hey, I want to have a look out there and see if the cheapest Fender you can buy is 500 quid. What else is out there for a cheaper amount of money that you could look at as an alternative to the Fender? And we've had a long-standing relationship here with GAK. If you don't know what GAK is, it's a shop in the UK, very cool shop. And I reached out to Mike, our contact who works there, and said, hey, I want to get some cheap guitars and do some reviews and see what is out there at a lower price point for people and just how good is it. And Mike said, hey, that's a great idea. Do you mind if I send you one of our own brand GAK guitars? And Mike is one of the people who, when I do a review of a guitar, and for those of you that watch it, you know I'm honest. And Mike is one of those people that always says, like, you're not going to get in trouble if you give it a bad review. So I was very clear with Mike. I was like, look, you can send me one of your guitars. These are £139 in the UK. And I was like, you can send it to me, but you know the score. I will be completely honest. So if you send me a rubbish guitar, it is going to get a rubbish review. And he thought, you know what, this is quite funny because you're ordering at like 10 to 3 in the afternoon. The cutoff point to get things ready and out the door is 3 o'clock. No one in the warehouse can go through and pick a good guitar, so you get what comes out the box. And he knows the deal. I will review what comes out the box. So Mike, if you're watching this review along with everyone else, this is an honest review of the GAK Electric Guitar. Starting off with the specs at the body, this is the mint green color GAK Electric Guitar. We've got a 6-point trem, your usual volume 2 tones, 3 ceramic pickups on here, 5-way switch, and it is a poplar body. Over to the next side of things on this, we have got a Canadian roasted maple neck with a roasted maple fretboard, 22 frets on this. It's a 25.5-inch scale, die-cast tuners, and I'm gonna have to check on this one to make sure I get it right. It is a 13.78 radius fretboard. That's what they've got it listed as. I don't know if that is accurate, but 13.78-inch radius. Sounds and tones that you can get out this guitar. In case you're wondering, I was playing this through my Fractal FM9 on the stock Marshall JTM 45 style preset. So I was using the clean, crunch and hot setting that you can get on there. And the 3 ceramic single coils on this guitar, for the price point, as I mentioned, this guitar is £139. I was expecting them to sound thin, weedy, microphonic, that kind of stuff, but I am pleasantly surprised by just how full these pickups sound and just how versatile they are. They are a slightly fuller sound than your standard Alnico style pickup. They haven't got that hollowness that you would expect, but you can still get lush cleans, nice spanky, funky tones out of it, and you can push this up into the gainier territory and it handles it pretty well. Setup on this straight out of the box, it's been set up surprisingly for this price point very, very well. The ends of the frets have been dressed very nicely. I think there's one slightly sharp fret end right at the very end on the treble side. But other than that, everything here is very, very smooth. The action isn't high at all. It's pretty much where you would expect a nice S-style guitar to be. The nut has been cut really well, so there's no binding in the nut or any kind of wolf notes. The only thing was the intonation was very, very slightly out, which a guitar at this price point, for just the intonation to be slightly out, I don't think you can complain about that at all. So yeah, very, very impressed with how this plays straight out of the box. Quality on this straight out of the box, for the most part, again, surprisingly very, very good. I keep saying surprisingly because when you see shops do own brand stuff, like some shops have got a bit of a reputation for doing a cheap, straight from a factory, own brand guitar and it not being very good when you get it. But this, I keep saying surprisingly because I was expecting that with this guitar, and it's been put together really, really well. The roasted maple neck that they've used is very, very stable. And it's a nice little premium feature that you get on higher end guitars where they do a bit of an upcharge and say, hey, this has got a roasted maple neck. So it's great to see it on this guitar. And as I say, very, very stable. The pots have got a nice little bit of, there's just that kind of resistance in there that it feels nice and reassuring. You're not going to accidentally knock it and turn it all the way down. It's not stiff or anything like that. The switch feels good quality. So all that stuff is very, very cool. The bridge, by the way, the trem, it does work. It returns to pitch. I tried it out. You won't find any playing clips of it because my trem playing is not great. It is pretty atrocious, so I didn't want to film that. But this does return to pitch very well. The only thing that lets it down slightly, in my opinion, are the tuners. The tuners aren't great. So they're quite stiff to do up. So you're kind of like trying to fine tune it into tune. And then if you go slightly too far, you go the other way and it's really loose to undo, so you're way out of tune straight away. So this was quite fiddly and they don't stay in tune brilliantly. That's the only thing I can really fault on the hardware side of things, and the build quality is just the tuners, which, to be fair, on a guitar that someone needs to learn on, that is a big thing to me, because you don't want to discourage someone who's learning by them having to spend ages tuning and tuning and tuning, and then it's out of tune again. Like that they could do with upgrading on these. I don't know how much they cost in the factory when they make these things, but even if they just put the price up by an extra £5 to have some more premium tuners on here, that would be great. But other than that, the build quality on this thing is, it's no worse than any big brand name guitars that I've seen. Would I play one of these live? And as usual, by that I mean, if I was going on tour for a year and someone handed me one of these and said, this is your guitar for this tour, this is what you're allowed to play, this range of guitars, would I play one of these live? I would have to do something about the tuners because, as I say, the tuners are a little bit rubbish and it keeps going out of tune, but that is purely the tuners. The rest of it, I would more than happily play this at a gig and know that I'm not going to have any issues once the tuning's sorted out. It feels great to play. The modern C-shaped neck profile is really comfortable. The tones that you can get out of these pickups, for those that have watched before, I play sort of country, southern rock, country, function stuff with function band, all that kind of stuff. I can convincingly get out of this guitar. So would I play one of these live? I wouldn't be happy about it because of what the guitar is, but with the tuners sorted out, I could certainly play this live and know that I've got a good, reliable instrument on my hands. Is there anything that I don't like about the guitar? I think I've covered it already. It's just the tuners. It's a starter guitar, and I know it's a very cheap starter guitar. 139 you can pick these up from GAK. The tuners are quite a fundamental part of the instrument because if it doesn't stay in tune, it's going to be really frustrating for a learner who is trying to play along to like their favorite song or anything like that. If the guitar keeps going out of tune, they've got to keep tuning. And I've given these strings a damn good stretch, and it's definitely the tuners that are the issue. That is the only thing for me that I don't like about the guitar. As I said earlier on, I don't know how much it costs to put higher end tuners on for what they can get, if it's an extra $5 or something like that they have to put on the price. For that extra tuning stability, I think it would be well worth it. Other than that, there's nothing that I don't like about the guitar. I think it is a very, very good S-type, Strat-type instrument. Is the guitar worth the money? Now, you buy these directly from GAK in the UK, in Brighton. They are 130-ish pounds. And at that price point, I really don't think, apart from the tuners, there's nothing to complain about at that price point. The quality of the maple they've used and how good it feels in the hand, and the fact that it's a roasted neck and a roasted board and everything, is in itself a feature that you find on premium or limited edition FSR guitars. And when you consider, as I said, the whole reason I was looking at cheap guitars to start with is because Fender released the standard series, and I wanted to know what could you get at a similar, like what is there in the budget end of things. And this is like, if you want the Fender standard Strat, which is also poplar body, ceramic pickups and all that, you're looking at 4 times the price pretty much. So for this to be a quarter of the price, yeah, it's worth the money, definitely. It's a very, very similar spec and feels and sounds great. So is the guitar worth the money? Absolute no-brainer. So as I mentioned, the idea of this video was because I did the review of the Fender Standard Series Strat, and what I got out of the box and reviewed was not good. It was not set up very well. it was making sitar noises with such a badly cut nut. The bridge was stuck up way higher than it should be, and it just wasn't good. And that was what the big company were calling their standard guitar. This is the standard that we are setting. And I saw an interview with, I think, the guy that designed it, who said the idea was to make the best guitar that we could make in that factory and put that name on the headstock. And when this is a quarter of the price, someone needs to step their game up, because if they're saying that's the best they can do and it's 4 times the price of this, it's pretty inexcusable as to how there are factories in that part of the world that are bringing out guitars of this quality for a quarter of the price. And in my opinion, this is a much better guitar, or at least this one is. I don't know what other ones will be like when you get them out of the box, but this one straight out of the box is much nicer than the other guitar that I reviewed. So there we go, that is the GAK Electric Guitar. That is as honest as I can be about it. Very, very impressive for the money, for what you're paying for the kind of spec that you're getting, especially when you compare it to other companies and the spec that you get for a guitar at a higher price. What do you guys think? Have any of you picked one of these up from a shop or tried one? What was yours like out the box? Are you even interested in guitars at this price point? So as honest as I can be, very, very surprisingly great guitar at this price point that could do with a little bit of a tweak in terms of the tuners that they put on the headstock, but I'm very impressed. I hope that's been helpful. If you are looking for a budget guitar, then definitely check one of these out as an option. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to, and other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.